Hello there, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast for the week of December 28th through January 3rd. Before we get started with the forecast, I do want to announce I have 3 group mentorings coming up that there are still slots available in. So if you want to get a hold of me and get in one of those, go ahead and email me or text me or call me. Let's see. So the first one is the 29th of December. That is at 6:15 Mountain Time. That would be 8:15 for you on the East Coast and Eastern Time. Excuse me. January 4th, I've got one coming up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Mountain Time. That would be 3 o'clock in the afternoon for you East Coast people. That would be 8 o'clock for those of you who are in the United Kingdom. Now, Wednesday, the 13th of January, I also have one coming up. That one is at 12:15 Mountain Time. That's going to be 2:15 Eastern, or what would that be? 7:15 in the UK for those of you who are my European fans. Okay, so if you would like to sign up for those, just let me know and we'll get you in there. And if you would like to be a part of a group mentoring session and none of those times work for you, let me know. We'll get something scheduled that does work for you, and then we'll invite others to join us. Okay, so Sagittarius, here is your forecast. On Monday, you have the 3 of Clubs showing up in reverse. 3 of Clubs in reverse is telling me that there's something that you've been hoping for or planning for or dreaming about to have in your life. And what you're doing on Monday is you are adjusting that dream or adjusting those plans. Maybe you've kind of realized, well, what you thought you wanted is really not exactly what you do want now that you've coming closer to it. That maybe it should be a little bit different than what you had thought. And so just adjusting some plans, adjusting some dreams, kind of tweaking things, fine-tuning some dreams basically is what I would say on Monday for you, Sagittarius. And also let me just remind everybody this is a general reading. So first of all, not everything is going to apply to everybody. And secondly, I've had people say that things that show up on one day might happen for them, 2 or 3 days later or before. So just be aware that could happen too. And then also the other thing you want to be aware of is free will. So if you start to feel any of these energies come in, there may be something that you can do, that you can change, that will change these energies and how they are active in your life. So let's continue with the reading on Tuesday, Sagittarius. 5 of Clubs. I feel like there's a lot of creative energy around you. A lot of people have some really inspiring ideas, but not everybody's on the same page with those ideas. So if you're all working on the same project, it's not going to be moving forward that well. But I just feel like there's just so much inspiration around you that if you guys can really work together, you would be amazed how far your project will go here. This could be a really competitive situation. But if you can sort of work the kinks out and get it so everybody, like I said, is on the same page, this could lose the competitiveness and just be a really awesome, fun collaboration that you're doing with somebody else. Now, on Wednesday, Sagittarius, what you have coming up is the Moon card. The Moon card is one of those cards that's been coming up several different times this week, so it's interesting. The Moon card, though, talks about that you have a situation in your life that you don't really like, it's fishy. Not everything adds up. You have just enough information about this situation to know that there's way more going on than meets the eye here. There's stuff going on underneath the surface and you just can't quite put your fingers on it. So that's what I see going on Wednesday. You're kind of encountering this fishy situation. Now, on Thursday, we have the Queen of Coins coming up in reverse. And I feel like for a lot of you, the Queen of Coins in reverse is someone that you're actually dealing with on Thursday. For most of you, this is not actually you. And the Queen of Coins in reverse is talking about that there's somebody in your life who has been helping you or who has been generous to you in some way. And she's starting to feel like she's sort of tapped out in a way, like she's feeling depleted. And so she is not so much helping on Thursday. She's kind of stepping back and saying, you got to handle this. I can't handle this all the time. You have to handle this. So that's what I see coming up. For most of you, that will be a female. For some of you, it will be a male. It is a general reading, so we're not going to get locked in on genders for a general reading for sure. But somebody just kind of stepping back and saying, hey, honey, you've got this. I can't always do this, but you've got this. You can do this. This is what I see coming in for you guys on Thursday. Now, Friday, we have the Empress card coming up in reverse. It's interesting because I'm getting a different feel off of this than I have for everybody else who's gotten this card this week. This is telling me somebody's kind of moving in on your territory in that they're making decisions for you that really you're more qualified to make. You're more qualified to make these decisions for yourself that this other person is trying to make. So they're kind of coming in trying to kind of take over your territory and run some of your space. I don't feel like that's going to go over very well with you. There may be a little bit of battling that out. It may take a little bit of conversation to kind of get this person to back off. Feels to me like that person is pretty insecure. They're not sure that you can do as good a job as they can about making these decisions. And you may have to just tell them something like, you know what, I have to learn my own lessons. I have to do my own thing. And if you're in here doing it for me, when do I get to learn my lessons and grow? So kind of, back off, let me do my own thing. If I mess up and I fall on my face, that's okay. I'll get up. I don't think most of you are not going to be messing up and falling on your face. It's going to be just fine. You just have to get this person, and I feel like for most of you, it's definitely a woman, get this person to back away. Step away from the sandbox, mama. All right, so next card that comes up is Saturday, the Hierophant in reverse. That means you're going to be doing something in a very non-traditional way. Now, this may be a traditional thing that's done in a non-traditional way. I did have this come up for me, excuse me, and a lady was actually going to a wedding that day, which is a very traditional thing. However, it was one of the first weddings where two people of the same gender were joined in a partnership. So that kind of made it a very traditional thing with a non-traditional twist. And I'm feeling that's coming in really strong actually on this card for you guys on Saturday, Sagittarius, that you're doing something that's traditional, but you're kind of putting your own spin on it. You're putting a non-traditional spin on it. You're doing something a little bit new and tweaking it. So the original roots go way, way, way back, but there's something different that is not so traditional going on here. Now, this doesn't have to be a wedding. That was just one example of how this is manifested before for me, but something that is a tradition that you're tweaking. You're adding some new things about it. You're doing something more contemporary with it, even though the root is traditional. Now, let's move on to Sunday. Sagittarius, what you have showing up is the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is one of those cards that I like it better in reverse, actually. But the Eight of Swords really talks about feeling bound. So you're feeling stuck in some situation in your life. Could be a relationship, could be a work situation, could be just, I have to tell somebody something and I don't know how to do it, So lots of different ways that we can feel stuck. But the Eight of Swords is a really cool card because it does tip us off that we're only stuck because of our own blockages right up here in our mind. So if we can figure out how to get a different perspective on this situation where we feel stuck, like if we can imagine telling our neighbor about the situation, and if we can imagine what would our neighbor have to say about that coming from his or her perspective, then we can start to see where we've got ourselves stuck. And as we can see that, then we can start to see, okay, well, am I going to give myself a break here? Am I going to break out of that barrier that I had put up for myself? And if you can see it from the other perspective, it really does help to see how you can break free of this situation. Now, this card doesn't show you actually breaking free of the situation. I'm just giving you the advice of that's how you can do it in this situation. And of course, free will rules. So if you feel this energy coming in and you do look at it from a different perspective, you can totally change anything that comes up in any reading. So that's your week, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for stopping by, hanging out, liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting. I appreciate all your support. Anybody who is interested in one of those group mentoring sessions, just like I said, give me a holler, let me know, and I will see you all back here next week. Everyone have a fantastic week. Peace out.